your time.
And here we go. This is the Razer TSL round of 8. This is game 3 of Brat, the Terran player in the top right of Othello here, against Dreiven, the Protoss, in the bottom left of Othello. And Brat, surprisingly enough, is leading 2-0. So this is an extremely pressure-filled game for Dreiven. And meanwhile, Brat, he has got to be liking his chances and definitely much more calm than Dreiven is right now.
So, I'm not super familiar with Terran versus Protoss. Are these positions going to favor the Terran in that his expansion can come quicker, he can feel a little safer taking his third base, or do they favor the Protoss given that he can take his third base extremely quick and expect a slower push?
Oh, this is definitely Protoss favored, if any spots are in this map. Being so far away, it makes it much harder to push quickly. If they were, you know, top right and top left, then about 4 turrets later, Brat has tank pushed all the way into Dreiven's natural. As is, he'd have to go across the map with plenty of countering and flanking opportunities for Dreiven. So definitely, as far as positions go, this is as good as Dreiven could hope for.
And it's going to be interesting to see if Dreiven might resort to some sort of cheese, maybe a Dark Templar drop or something basically all in. I mean, he's tried to play 2 semi-straight up games with Brat, and unfortunately, he's kind of looking like he's getting rolled. We'll have to see if it gets to him and he tries to switch it up and plays a different style, or if he just thinks he can take Brat out straight up.
And you know, this is game 3. This is Othello, so it's probably the map he was most scared of against Brat. Well, you said he didn't like Blue Storm, so maybe that, but also he's got to know Othello does lean towards Terran, so he may have already had a cheese planned out, and you know that could definitely factor into it.
I'm also just getting word that Dreiven did not go to a barbecue before these games, and we all know how well he plays after the barbecue. I mean, he's basically looked unbeatable, especially against Mondragon, so without that barbecue power, I mean, that is just really unfortunate. In something as high level as a Razer TSL, I would have expected him to have that barbecue planned out weeks in advance.
So you're saying he didn't barbecue before this? Oh my,
No.
Banana grin here, folks. I think we're going to see a Terran move on to the round of 4. Dreiven, without his special barbecue powers, you know, he's just no match for this Russian Terran, I think.
Oh, I got faith. I think he can still get it done. I think he probably didn't go to the barbecue specifically to prove that he can do it without his barbecue crutch. We see the scouting probe of Dreiven is in the main of Brat. Okay, the single Marine out now, not another Marine making, only a factory. So we're gonna have to see what this means. Only a single SCV on gas. Second Marine making now, just chasing the probe around the minerals. Probe is getting some good scouting how many Marines are getting made, scouting when the factory finishes, and seeing if a second factory gets made, or if Brat is going to look to expand after this.
And Dreiven also, he has a very standard build going on here. So it doesn't look like he has any sort of cheese plan, at least not for the early game. You know, I wouldn't be too surprised if we see some sort of carrier rush here, that it's getting more and more popular in the pro scene. We saw White Raw do it to Hydra, and he did lose, but it was a very close game, a very hard-fought game. So maybe some sort of mid-game cheese. And oh, look at this. We have Brat making a starport in his main. That's a really cool opening for this map, opening up a starport. So it looks like he will be able to do some early drop harass, but he is getting a tank first, so maybe not a vulture drop. Maybe he's going to do some sort of, you know, get a siege tank, get siege mode. No, he is getting mines, actually. So it's going to look like FD Terran, but it's not going to be exactly FD Terran. Well, it's still a fake double factory, but he's going to have a starport instead of an expand. So while he pressures the front with the tank and the Marines, he's going to be able to drop vultures in the back, and this could really end the game quickly if Dreiven doesn't catch wind of it.
Yeah, and it's going to be very difficult for him to catch wind of it because his scouting probe is obviously going to be killed when Brat decides to move out, which is right now. and it's going to be nearly impossible for him to scout that it's coming. We can see Dreiven actually got a robotics facility as opposed to expanding, and a second gateway, so he will have observers out in a timely fashion, but his army should be out of position. I mean, if he's playing against a standard opening, he'd expect that army to be right up in Brad Ok's throat at his natural, but unfortunately that's going to be the worst place for it to be, playing against this vulture drop style.
It is, and it's really looking good for Brad. I mean, he's definitely looking tricky here. I don't think Dreiven expects anything of the sort yet. He's making a shuttle right now, so he's afraid of that cliff. If he's making a shuttle, that means definitely he's thinking about taking an expand, or perhaps doing some sort of bulldog attack, where you attack with a bunch of ranged goons while dropping zealots onto your opponent's siege tanks. So it's one or the other, but the probe does come out. It looks like he is going to want to take a quick expand, and this is probably exactly what Brat wants him to do, but no, the probe is going out to scout, so it could go either way still.
What strange play by Brat. In this dropship coming to Dreiven's main, we have 2 vultures and 4 marines, and meanwhile the barracks is landed and rallying marines to bottom left, so it looks like he's going to move in with this drop, lay some mines, use the marines to draw Dreiven's army back, and then move into the natural. We're going to have to see how this plays out. Mines are down. Dreiven runs his probes very quickly, coming in with the shuttle with zealots. Unfortunately, he's bringing his dragoons. It looks like the dropship may fly around and look to cliff Dreiven, but seeing the shuttle, he may just give that up. Dreiven defending that really nicely. Brat has no expansion coming, and we're gonna have to see how Brat tries to defend this. He has unloaded the 2 vultures, moving in towards the natural. Looks like he's going to pick up a tank and try to move in to cliff Dreiven, but of course Dreiven has that shuttle out with zealots in it, so he should be able to defend fairly easily.
You know, he does have that shuttle with the zealots, but if Brat ferries a bunch of units up there, 8 marines he has right now, if he gets all 8 marines up there, that shuttle really isn't going to do anything, and he's going to be able to take out that expansion right away, and that's going to put him comfortably in the lead here against Dreiven. And we see he does go back, he picks up the rest of his units, he's going to have 2 vultures up there, 8 marines, and a tank, and if he does have siege mode, he's going to easily take down the Nexus, and he does have siege mode. And look at this, you know what, I don't know if he can even reach the Nexus, maybe if he moves it all the way up at the edge, but it looks like he's just going to kill a bunch of probes right now and defend the back of that cliff. Meanwhile, we have Dreiven attacking towards Brat's natural and clearing out the mines. He's got the shuttle with all of the zealots in it, and a tank splash kills 4 probes, kills 4 more probes, 8 kills on that tank. That is a big deal. And look at this, he has got a couple vultures in the main. He dropped the vultures over, so he's attacking probes in there as well. This is wild play here by Brat. Beautiful play here. He's all sieged up at his natural at home, so he is not going to be broken by Dreiven. Dreiven realizes it, and he starts to go home, while this Nexus is being picked off by the siege tank on the ledge. 8 marines behind it, so really not too much that Dreiven can do right now. Brat is taking a commanding lead early off here.
Wow, Brad OK is like a Terran genius. He sieged that tank specifically out of range, so it would splash those probes. Now the shuttle coming in gets targeted by the Marines. Only 3 zealots getting out. They're killing quite a few Marines, but unfortunately that tank is defended nicely. We're going to have to see if he forces an unsiege. He is going to have to unsiege and get back into that dropship. Looking back, the natural of Brad OK is finished. The dropship actually gets taken out by a couple Dragoons, so nice play by Dreiven. He is going to have to look to re-establish his economy now, be it with an offensive push or another expansion. Meanwhile, Brad OK is landing his command center at his natural. Looks like he wants to add factories. A 3rd factory coming in now, and looks like we're going to have a little bit of a lull in the action as we build up.
So now we have Dreiven. After killing all those marines and the tank on the ledge, he has taken a commanding lead in supply. He's got 60 supply already. Brat's sitting right around 40. So Brat's going to have to play defensive for a little bit while he gets ready either for some sort of push, maybe some more harass, maybe taking his 3rd base, but really not too much he can do now. Now Dreiven running up into the natural. Looks like he's going to target some siege tanks here, but there's 3 on the cliff sieged. Dreiven's not going to be able to do too much damage. Already loses 2 goons, taking out only 1 tank. taking out an SCV there, and Brad, being super careful, lifts off that command center, runs back, but pushing forward with his tanks at the same time. He's securing this natural. He looks totally safe. Doesn't look like there's too much Dreiven can do here.
Dreiven has added a Citadel of Adun, no Templar Archives yet, but he does have quite a bit of gas just from his main. He's at close to 900 gas. Just setting up a bit of a Dragoon contain here, threatening pressure. Looks like the Zealots are actually moving in. Zealots drawing tank fire, and he's trying to move in, kill a few tanks, and then back off and target the command center. A bit of a misstep there, but he kills the 2 tanks nicely. A nice move there, forcing Bradokay to bring in another tank, which Dreiven immediately moves in, targeting. That goes down after 2 groups of Dragoons fire on it, and now will he lift? No, he's bringing in another tank. We'll have to see if Dreiven can get this command center. Doesn't look like he will be able to. He's forced back, picking off a vulture, and he has taken this 3rd base at this point. So this little bit of aggression is going to let him establish that 3rd base quite easily and just keep rolling with his lead, just compound his advantage.
You know, that was just excellent there by Dreiven. He really abused Brat for the first mistake we've seen Brat make in this series. Brat did not have his tanks covering each other as well as they could have been, and Dreiven just ran in and killed a bunch of tanks, and killing those tanks is a big deal in TVP, especially this early. The tanks are an expensive unit, and early on they take a long time to make. So replenishing his tanks and pushing back out is going to take him much longer, and Dreiven just being very smart, taking that expand as you said. So it looks like Dreiven, despite Brat's excellent opening, has clawed his way right back up and may even be in the lead now.
You can see Brat has a few vultures out, just trying to raid the obvious expansion points. He will find the expansion at Dreiven's 3rd, just laying a mine at the 4th base to prevent a nexus there. It looks like Dreiven has a shuttle full of Zealots, threatening to bomb them. And the Vulture's actually running in, laying some mines, killing 2 probes. Of course, those probe kills are everything. Brat needs to focus on targeting those probes. 3 probes down. It looks like he's going to get a 4th one, and that's going to be it. The 5th one goes down as the last Vulture gets taken out. So pretty effective, but Dreiven is still quite a bit in the lead. It looks like he's actually putting up a cannon now above his cliff at the natural, and just to deny drops, really. He doesn't want to get cliffed up there. And for those wondering, Zealot Bomb is dropping units on top of the tanks, dropping Zealots on the tanks, and forcing them to splash each other. We can see that Dreiven has actually caught up in supply, Brat has caught up almost in supply. He's sitting at 76, whereas Dreiven is sitting at 84.
And now we see Brat going around the middle of the map. He has a decent amount of vultures there. He has about 8, just laying some mines around here and there and everywhere. Very smart move. You know, it gives him vision of various areas of the map. Maybe Protoss units will run into him, maybe they won't. Either way, it doesn't matter too much. It just gives him, you know, a safe feeling, and it's very nice. And here they go into the 3rd, killing a bunch of probes. Very nice. No defense there from Dreiven. Oh my, this is really good for Brat. Killing these probes is going to hurt him very much. Dreiven has been losing probes all day. First on the tanks, then a vulture harass, now another vulture harass. This is very nice. And look at this, laying more mines, more probes going down. Target those probes, Brat. Go. He just keeps targeting probes, and Dreiven is just, his economy is just being toyed with by Brat here. And that is beautiful play. And in the meantime, we saw that there was some sort of drop, a high Templar drop by Dreiven in the natural. Looks like he wants to drop another one. He has one more in that shuttle, but the tanks look like they've defended it very well, and Brat's economy is still looking strong, much stronger at least than Dreiven's.
Yeah, I really thought this game was all but wrapped up by Dreiven, but these vultures have been really effective, and Brat's defense has looked quite impressive. We can see he has a 3rd command center, clearly thinking about floating that out to his 3rd base, and he is just really getting back into this game quite nicely. Supplies now are 84 for Terran and 93 for Protoss, so Protoss would like to be a little bit ahead. Brat is thinking about pushing out now, just laying some mines, getting his units out. Clearly not going to be moving out into the expansion of Dreiven, just looking to defend his 3rd base, get his macro rolling, get his factories up, and then get his mid-game push going.
Brat he's just looking so stellar. I can't even believe it. I mean, Dreiven, his economy is very badly hurt. He's got poor saturation on his main, good saturation on his natural, but not very good at all on his third. So as Brat takes his third base and starts to macro, he's just, I mean, we saw his macro before. He macros fast. He gets a lot of factories and a lot of units. And it's going to be so hard. I can't stress to you how hard it's going to be for Dreiven to hold it off. And Dreiven knows this. He's switching over. He's doing a lot of high Templars right now. He's not going to want to do too many more storm drops, I don't think. He's going to have to storm a lot of tanks to be able to live through Brat's first offensive. And we see a shuttle at Brat's third. Looks like he wants to harass still. He has 3 Zealots in it and a High Templar, and he'll use this ledge to good effect, I'm sure. But not enough mana on the High Templar. Looks like he does have to withdraw for now. And Dreiven taking his 4th base down at 6 o'clock, and that is important. He's got to get another Nexus up, pump out more probes, and hope to God he can hold off Brat's huge Terran Fury with Psystorms.
We see Brat OK has loaded a dropship now, moving to 12 o'clock. It's got 2 tanks in it and vultures to supplement that. So we're going to have to see if this goes towards the natural or the third base. Of course, the natural has a cannon there and a zealot well defended. Meanwhile, the third base is ripe for the pickings. Vultures moving in on High Templar. Storm's going off, but the High Templar are getting sniped. All those Templar get sniped by the Vultures. Wow, that is a big deal. Those Templar were the only thing that could get Dreiven back in the game in my mind. And now the tank drop forcing the probes to run from the third base. That is really unfortunate. We're going to have to see if Dreiven has a shuttle nearby to come defend that before the Nexus gets taken down. If that Nexus gets taken down, that'll be pretty much the end of the game. Vulture's actually coming in to support that. Wow. And now a Zealot drop and a High Templar doesn't get a good storm, only on 1 tank, and gets taken out. Zealot taking out the second tank, but that other tank is still alive, just beating down on that Nexus. Storm is going to take that out, so Dreiven cleans that up, but Brat is looking just on point. He is looking great, dropping some mines up there, and Dreiven is going to have to do something special to get this done.
I don't even know what special thing he could possibly do at this point. I mean, Brat is just phenomenal right now. He's got a ton of factories. Right now he's building his 7th fact. He's got more supply now than Dreiven. Dreiven, well, actually, they're right around each other now. Dreiven at 130 and Brat also at 130, but of course Terran more powerful when at the same supply. So Brat is just, look at all these tanks at his third. Wow, that is many tank. Yes, he is making a ton of vultures now, and his supply is just going to shoot up and up and up. Meanwhile, just harassing the center of the map, laying mines, picking off what he can. Every High Templar, every Zealot he kills is so good because Dreiven cannot replace units as quickly as Brat. His economy just is not as good. Despite the 6 o'clock base starting to run, he just doesn't have the probe counts everywhere to keep up with Brat.
We see Brat has actually finished +1 on his mechanical units, +1 attack. He is researching +2, and he's trying to take his 4th base. And I mean, as you said, what can Dreiven do? He's trying to get a Stargate up, and his Arbiter Tribunal, defending the Vulture harass there, losing some High Templar to the Vultures, unfortunately. And that's just such a big deal. I mean, these Vulture raids are just cutting him up. And of course, as Dreiven kills Vultures, they're getting replaced with tanks. And when this tornado rolls out full of tanks, it's going to be nearly impossible for Dreiven to defend. There's no way his Arbiter is going to be done in time. Dropship up at the third base again, fearing some tanks up there. They're going to kill, they're actually targeting the Nexus, it looks like, not killing the probes. The 1 tank targeting the Nexus, 1 targeting the cannon. Dreiven has no shuttle in the area. It doesn't look like to defend this, but he does storm the 1 tank, so he will live this attack. His Nexus will live. Shuttle coming in to clean up that tank. But I mean, just look at Dreiven's third base. It's pretty ridiculous. Or excuse me, Brat OK's third base. The amount of tanks that just unsiege just put chills down my spine. And I don't know what Dreiven can do, but we're gonna have to see coming into this battle.
And Brat just moving into the center of the map. He has about almost 2 groups of tanks. He's got probably 2 groups of vultures right now, I'm sure, with a ton more on the way. And he is just putting on a clinic how to play this map TVP. He is harassing every moment while macroing up. He's taking his 4th base up at 12. He's already got it secured. He is just in such good position right now. There is almost nothing that Dreiven can do. This is a death blob coming for him. There are so many siege tanks here, and Dreiven has to know it. And we see Dreiven trying to attack towards this 12 o'clock base. And look at this, now half his army engaging these tanks. Nice storm right on the tanks. A small flank here by Dreiven. Some nice drops right on the tanks to draw some splash. Oh, very good storms there. This is what Dreiven needs to do to stay alive. Beautiful storms all over the place, kills a ton of tanks, and Brat is left with very few. He's got not even 12 tanks now, about a group of vultures with his army, but Dreiven also with a lot of losses. Brat pulls ahead in supply, but Dreiven in the meantime with that small army up at 12 makes him lift off that command center. So Dreiven, he is just fighting tooth and nail here. We've seen him do it before, and even when behind, he can really win battles and really pick off Terran units very well. But Brat's still in an excellent position here.
You know, in my mind, this is not a TVP clinic. This is more like a TVP hospital. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Brat OK knows when to attack. He knows when to move into the center. He knows when he needs to start adding Goliaths to deal with the Arbiters. It's just, it's ridiculous watching this. I mean, I kind of feel bad for Dreiven drawing this opponent. What can he do? He's trying to stall for Arbiters, but unfortunately that's not going to work. And his supply count is just too low to deal with this huge push through the center. It's looking very bad for Dreiven as Brat claims the center as his own, secures his 4 bases. Dreiven trying to take bottom right, but I mean, it's really not looking good for him.
And now we see Brat getting right up to the 3rd base of Dreiven. Dreiven frantically running his probes away, and Brat losing control of a few of his units there. But Brat's push is just too strong. Dreiven knows there's no way he can break. He's just giving up that 3rd base, moving those probes down. He's going to want to get more bases up quickly, but Brat's probably going to kill him if he does. So Dreiven just very bad position here. And in the meantime, Brat, I mean, during all this macro and harass, could you upgrade? I don't know if I could, but Brat has +2 attack right now. So he is looking just so superb. Look at this push right down. He's almost to the natural of Dreiven. And if he gets there, Dreiven's army gets split up and there's basically nothing he can do. Meanwhile, Dreiven with his pitiful looking army compared to Brat's army towards the center of the map, picking off some mines here and there, trying to catch any reinforcements before they join up with this gigantic Terran army. And oh, Brat is just looking superb here. He's going into an excellent position. He's not going too fast, he's not going too slow, he's just trying to win.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. Brat knows when he needs to advance his position, and he knows when he needs to play defensive. Dreiven trying to flank against a siege Terran, that is not a good idea. He's taking tons of losses, now at 152, whereas Brat is also at 153. It's not looking very good. Despite having Arbiters out, I would say the barbecue is over for Dreiven because tons of scanners, 4 scanners for Brat OK. He's not going to be able to... or he's not going to be hurt too much by the Arbiter's Cloak. And we can see basically a huge flank coming in now. This is going to be it for Dreiven. He looks to have great positioning. These Zealots run in, and he does a great storm on the Vultures, cleaning that up. Wow, Dreiven looked really good in that one attack, but is it too little too late? We're going to have to see.
You know, he just absolutely busted that up, but not before he lost 2 of his expansions. So right now, Dreiven only has the bottom right main and his natural mining with a little bit left of his main, but Brat just coming right down. I mean, his army died. Here comes another. It's just rolling across the map. Huge orange death. Oh man, this is just so bad for poor Dreiven. I mean, he is busting up everything that you could possibly bust up with what he has, but Brat is just relentless here. Look at these tanks just flowing down, spider mines all over the place. Dreiven just has no time to macro back up to stop this.
Brat OK's minerals are consistently below 1,000. I mean, he's got 3 add-ons. He's got a science vessel out now. He just looks basically perfect at this point. Dreiven has played very well, but you know, I don't know if any Protoss can beat this beast. We're gonna have to see. I mean, Terran definitely has a representative in the Razer TSL, and it is Brat OK. He's now pushing in towards the natural. 2 Arbiters out, but unfortunately Science Vessel out, as I said, for Terran. Not much they can do, not really against, not much the Protoss army can do against this small, with this small amount of units. Moving in, Stasis goes off on a few tanks. Unfortunately, they're at the front, creating an invincible wall. Psionic Storm going off on 3 tanks. A lot of damage there. Dreiven finishes quite a few tanks with Psionic Storm, but unfortunately his army is melting under the Russian army. Brat and he is just rolling in. Gonna finish this off 3-0. He's killing his own Zealot with the Vulture. That's how ahead he is. Killing his own units, and I have no idea what's going on at this point, but Brat looks dominant.
Oh yeah, Brat is just cleaning him up. Dreiven is about to leave the game. 3-0 for Brat in just a moment here. Dreiven is just about dead. No units left. His supply is just dropping. Not even an Arbiter and Stasis can save him now. And when an Arbiter with Stasis can't save you, you don't know what trouble you're in. And GG. Brat wins 3-0 over Dreiven. I bet none of you expected that.
God, I was predicting Dreiven like 3-0, 3-1 after his after how his strength he showed against MYM.Dreiven, but this result is basically shocking. And any Protoss who goes up against Brat, okay, you had better do your homework, because this guy is beastly like you've never seen.
Yeah, I mean, beastly. He played every map very well, just superbly. He knew exactly what he was doing. He macroed like he was I Love Uv. It was just beautiful play out of Brat today.
Right on. Well, that finishes up our 2 series for today. An incredible day of StarCraft. Just to wrap up, Draco beating White Raw in a very tense 5-game series, Protoss versus Protoss. He managed to pull it out on Othello. And then, as we've just seen, Brad OK really taking Dreiven down hard. Very impressive. It looks very good for Brad in this Protoss-dominated TSL, that if this is his best matchup, you know, he might just roll all the way to the finals on the strength of his pushes, as you saw today. Tomorrow, we've got 2 more best-of-5 series coming up. So we've decided 2 of the 4 series thus far. The next 2 quarterfinals are going to be Dino T, another MYM clan member, Meet Your Makers clan member, and he will be going up against Othello Jianfei. Jianfei being the great Protoss player who beat Cloud last week. In the second matchup, we have Goshia, the Templar of Twilight clan member, Tot Goshia, and he will be going up against another Othello player, the Protoss Noni. Both players look very strong. As the way the bracket works out at the moment, Dreiven has been eliminated, so Brat OK advances, and he will face the winner between Jianfei and Dino T. Dino T again is the Zerg player, Jianfei plays Protoss. On the other half of the bracket, Draco has gone through, White Raw has been eliminated, and Draco will play the winner of Othello Noni and Tot Goshia. So that's going to happen tomorrow. We'll start at the same time as today's games, so please tune in for that. We'd really appreciate it. In the meantime, make sure you check out our forums at teamliquid.net. We've got a dedicated TSL forum there. In addition, check out our website at Razer TSL.teamliquid.net. That's our sponsor site. And is looking very nice. We're going to have the games up to be downloaded and put on YouTube as soon as possible as well today. So, again, I hope you enjoyed today's game. Chill, Arthosis, thank you very much for commentating. Great job today. And looks like we'll be doing it again tomorrow with another couple great matches. So, again, from all of us at teamliquid.net, thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you then.